What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with Belle Collective Birmingham, Season 1, Episode 8 Reunion, Power, Pressure, and Betrayal. Before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell button so we can be updated on every video. Make sure y'all like the video so I can send an algorithm. Alright? So, just real quick with the looks, because I just wanted to share what I liked. So Fumi's outfit, hair, and makeup was cute. Amber's hair was cute. Tiffany just looked like she was going to an all-white prayer event. I just couldn't see the vision. But okay, Kayla's dress was fitted. Her makeup, no ma'am, grow up. Stormy's makeup and hair was beautiful. Her and her dog, I think, was dressed alike. Tracy or whatever. The mop lashes was lashing. Okay, the mop looks real ghetto, but the mop lashes was lashing. All right. So the episode starts with some never before scenes, and I'm just gonna talk about the things that stuck out to me. Fumi addressed Tiffany about the influencers dressing alike or acting alike comment. Fumi asked, what does she mean by her comment of influencers like to compete with one another? Tiffany said, influencers like to compete, and if the shoe fits. And I wasn't coming at you, Fumi. And I'm looking at Tiffany like, Tiffany, you're lying. Everything you said this entire season, as we look back, you were literally talking about Fumi and Kayla and how they were up Stormy's ass, but some of the parts you wasn't wrong, but we'll get there. So anyway, Tiffany said, I may not be everyone's fave, but I keep it real. Fumi said, you're not my fave and you're not the realest. I said, okay. So we talk about Stormy. Carlos talks about Stormy's event. Tiffany said Stormy had Martell at her event to help her sell was a great marketing strategy. The lady made $1 million, Tiffany. You had all them people at your event. How much did you sell? All right. So Kayla said that. So Carlos asked, Tiffany, did he felt like what's her name, Stormy, used the ladies to get free labor or whatnot? Of course, Tiffany said yes. When I tell y'all, Tiffany ate their asses up on this reunion. Listen, she wasn't wrong in some of that stuff, but Tiffany, you was dead ass wrong in a couple things, but whatever. So Kayla was like, listen, Stormy wasn't trying to get free labor out of us, but she said, I did an event for Stormy, and Stormy paid me very well. So Tiffany shades Kayla and tells her, listen, you have issues with lying and forgetting. So then Carlos decided to ask Amber if it was a strategy to get the Bells to come on and help sell products. Amber takes this moment to let us know that she still don't fuck with Kayla. And again, you could have answered that question without, well, if I had somebody on here that I'm not cool with, that they'll probably expect to be paid, versus if somebody was my friend, they'll do it as a favor, kind of like me and Kayla. We are not cool. And I'm looking at Amber like, you can't help yourself. That's why I don't like you, because you can't help yourself. Anyway, I feel like Amber and Tiffany came on the mission. Tiffany came for the other side, for everybody on that side of the table. And I mean, yeah, and Amber came for mainly Kayla and a little bit of Fumi, I guess. But whatever. Not too much on Fumi, but just mostly Kayla. So anyway, Tiffany asked Amber, as she was talking, as Amber was telling Carlos, what her perspective, Tiffany said, so are they close or did they just meet? So Stormy tells Tiffany, just say you're hating. And Tiffany, she put that high-pitched voice on and said, I'm not hating. You was, Tiffany. You was mad because you didn't get your invite. You got an invite, but your invite was rescinded. You was mad about that. And I feel like you came on here to make Stormy pay. I'm just saying. And when she kicked you out of that house. So yeah, I mean I don't know how to feel. So Amber, we found, we already knew on the season finale that she had 23 eggs. She has no timeline on having a baby. And again, I don't want Amber to rush the process. And if it's like, once you get to a certain age, of course, they call it, what they call it when you're older and you're having a baby. If you can have somebody to hold babies for you or whatever. But I feel like Amber has plenty of options. And I want Amber to do this when she's good and ready and not because the eggs are there, And if she decides she doesn't want to do them, she don't have to. And if you decide you want to sell your eggs to the highest of the highest bidder, all 23 eggs, and get rich, do that. I won't be mad. So anyway, Fumi, we talk about Fumi and Sam. So they put an offer in on one house and the contingency fell through. And we also find out Fumi's not aware of the finances and she don't know how much the mortgage is and she does not pay the bills, which is why you shouldn't be walking around talking about, well, we need to buy a $2 million house. Fumi, girl, no ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. You don't even know what's going on. So anyway, Stormy Carlos asked Stormy how did she feel about Fumi, not really knowing about the situation, the finances or whatnot. Stormy was like, listen, that's how they run their house. I can't speak on that. But basically, the way Stormy talked about Courtney, she said that he chased his dreams and they both work their ass off and they have balance, and where she can't pick up the slack, Courtney picks it up, and he is a good man, Savannah, and that is that on that. She wrapped this up so nicely in a book. So Carlos, we talk about Kayla and how she was married when she turned 18, and Carlos tells her that she was robbed out of her childhood. I seen Stormy and Fumi get really, really emotional. And Kayla said that her ex will talk about how he did things in his 20s, but she wasn't able to. And I can smack the dog shit out of her ex. Because I feel like he was playing in her damn face, saying those things to her. Knowing you impregnated her on purpose. You preyed on her. Because first of all, you were seeing her. You married her at 18. Which means you was fucking on this girl and seeing this girl while she was still in high school. Which makes you a pedophile. And your ass should be locked up. Like, that annoyed me to no end. So, Kayla missed out on an entire childhood. I really think this is why Kayla act the way she do. Because all she's been was a mom and a wife. She has not had any experience outside of her life. And then you meet another man who's just another older man. Like, girl, Carlos said it best. You need to choose you. Fuck Jason. He didn't say that, but I'm saying that. Fuck Jason. Like, there needs to be a life with no nigga. You need to get you together and really work on you. I do feel like Kayla needs therapy. Like, I really feel like this young woman needs therapy. You had to be a mom. You practically raised your kids while you were young. You're 35. You're still super young. Like, it's I'm glad you got out of it, though. I will say that. I give you that. And I'm glad you built your brand. But what pisses me off even further is that when you started to work, your nigga felt like he can sit back and have you work, as if he resented you for taking care of you after he got you pregnant. He married you. He preyed on you and took your innocence from you and then used you. Like, who is he? Because I won't beat his ass for you. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't like it. It's very creepy to me that I really wish Kayla had people around. But, you know, when it comes, I guess, to matters of the heart, you're not going to leave somebody until you're good and goddamn ready. But her mom was really, really upset with her because, you know, she knew her mom was going to be upset with her, which is why she lied about being with that damn man. So, anyway, we found out Tiffany still wants to have kids, but her husband has a doctor's appointment. So I'm assuming he's going to get a vasectomy, and Tiffany has to go with that. She was like, I can't, if this is what he chooses to do, then I have to go with that. So I was like, cool. So then we get to the segment with Kayla versus the Bells. And I want to say this. Production was choppy. This reunion was all over the place. And so, yeah. So anyway, Kayla versus the Bells. Kayla said Amber was fake. And she also said that Amber started to change when the cameras rolled. It is very clear that Amber and Tiffany decided they wanted to come for Kayla. Kayla tells Tiffany she wanted to get her side of the story. So Tiffany was like, you acted like you did not know what happened when Sonetta had already told you what happened. She was like, well, I just want to confess something. Again, grow up. Kayla is still stuck in her. She is still stuck at 18 right now. And she was like, listen, I want to admit that I did get the side. I did know what was going on, but I wanted to hear your side. So, Kayla, instead of you going through all of that, why didn't you just tell Tiffany, listen, I heard what the lady told me. I had not talked to Stormy yet, but I just want to hear your side. And if she shared it with you, then she shared it with you. And if she didn't, then she didn't. But, Tiffany, you talking about, oh, I was just, pouring my heart out to you. I guess coming to you as a friend. No, you wasn't. Like, you meeting up with her. It was just. I still feel like Tiffany meeting up with Kayla was very disingenuous. That's how I feel. So Tiffany and Stormy. Stormy said, she didn't like the "we back on the mop" comment, and Tiffany had a bunch of resistance with Stormy. So Tiffany asked Stormy, who are you without the money? I think that's what she said. Fumi and Stormy tells Tiffany that, sometimes it's your tone. Your tone is a bit off-putting when we're trying to explain things to you. So they bring out the mop, and the mop had lashes. I don't know, I guess. So then I noticed, like, whenever Tiffany is pissed off with Stormy, she will add the other Bells and insult them, which is why when you see the camera pan to Fumi and Kayla, they're looking and they're feeling away. But Tiffany interprets that as Fumi and Kayla being being Stormi's minions, and it's not. You have insulted these ladies in your confessionals and on camera. And when Fumi met you, she didn't really care for you upon meeting you. And then when she actually talked to the ladies about it. Tiffany thinks that Fumi changes when she's not around Tiffany. I didn't see that. And maybe other people did see that, but I mean, when she's around Stormi, Tiffany feels like Fumi's energy is different when she's around Stormi versus when she's not with Stormi. And I don't know. I just felt like Fumi was the same. I don't know. I just feel like she was the same. So Amber felt like she was stuck in the middle. And Tiffany thinks Stormi leans heavily on her money to gain respect out of the people based on the comments that Chanel made at the civil rights event. And I will say this. I don't think Stormi leans heavily on her money. However, when Tiffany told her to mop, I felt like Stormi was like, bitch, I'm a millionaire. She said it without saying it. I'm a mogul, whatever they call it, a mogul millionaire. I'm not finna mop for you. You're not finna ask me to mop. I think Tiffany, I will say this. Tiffany was playing, but then I feel like Tiffany was playing. But when Stormi said that she didn't like the comment and that the comment, was hurtful to her, Tiffany kept saying, but it was funny to me. That's where I drew the line. However, we still not going to act like Stormi was like, I know you lying. I am a millionaire. I won't mop for anybody. I pay people to mop for me. Like, that's just how I felt. Like, but Chanel said it outwardly. I do feel like, because Stormi kept having conversations with the people around her. And I'm pretty sure that those were conversations that wasn't brought up on camera. That's all. So Fumi tells Tiffany about the comment she has been making about her and Kayla on, in her confessionals and whatnot. And, how Tiffany kept saying how Fumi and Kayla need Stormi in order to stay on the show. And Fumi was like, listen, I don't need nobody. Fumi has made her own platform for herself. She has become, I never heard of Fumi, but when we look at Fumi's story, when we first met her, she has made her own platform without a Stormi. So I can't say that. Just like Kayla, they just brought her on to the show. And again, I just feel like Tiffany was projecting, because what you keep saying, what Fumi and Kayla is to Stormi, that's what your friend, the mayor's wife, is to you. That's all. So Tiffany tells Fumi she's different when she's around Stormi. And again, I didn't see a difference. It could have been a difference. And I want to say this. I don't know if Tiffany must have pissed somebody off in production, but it made her look, the light, Tiffany looked like really did come off as the antagonist. She did come up, production made her look problematic. So I'm never going to downplay Tiffany's experience, because her feeling away, all her feelings for me was really, really valid. I don't think that she'll just lie. Tiffany don't give me, I'ma just lie on people. She might be nasty. She condescending and she nasty, but I just don't get Tiffany would lie. And I think her experience was real. And I think that's what she's seeing and what she's saying. I do feel like that was her experience. And that's all. I'm gonna just leave it at that. So Tiffany tells Fumi how she's not direct. You know, you said you were direct, but you wasn't direct with Stormy about not liking Stormy's event. Fumi said, well, you didn't know that I actually called Stormy and I told her. You just assuming. So Tiffany was like, well, what did Stormy say? Stormy, what did you say? Stormy said, I'm not talking to you. And I'm just like, okay. So Tiffany tells Carlos that Last Supper event was inappropriate and it was blasphemous, and she felt Stormy was being performative. And I just don't think I think Stormy was trying to show Tiffany, like trying to meet Tiffany halfway, if that made sense. I think she was just trying to relate. But Stormy was like, listen, I am aware of how it will make other people feel. And that's where we left it. She acknowledged it, and we're there. So Stormy feels like the show has made Amber distant. So there is a distance. You can actually see it. You can see them really distant on that couch. Like, they can be close, but there is a distance. She was like, listen, there was a distance because Amber didn't want to be between Stormy and Tiffany. Stormy wished Amber would have talked more about her feelings. Amber said, you know, why didn't you call me? Stormy said she did, but she felt like Amber had shut down. They cried and they hugged. I'm going to say this. I low-key feel like Amber and Tiffany had some conversations about the ladies without the ladies being around or cameras being around. Because, again, they are friends. And even without Sonetta being around. Yep. I just feel that way. Which is probably why she felt guilty and she wouldn't even go to Stormy. Probably because she was talking about Stormy. I mean, you don't really care about the other ladies like that. But with Stormy, I do feel like you and Tiffany had some conversations. But that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. This is where the season has ended. Hopefully we'll get a season 2. Again, as I stated in the last video, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what y'all thought about this season, what y'all thought about the people. I know everybody wasn't in favor of Tiffany, but I do think Tiffany's experience, how she felt, was real. It did. Tiffany feeling like people was against her. That's what it felt. I'm sorry. I would have felt some of the same ways Tiffany felt. I would have felt the same way. I just can't sit here and give her a hard time. I do feel like between her and Stormy was at fault for some things, and Tiffany was at fault for some things. I think Kayla needs to gather more awareness about herself and about her situation and about the people around her. And that's another thing. Let me just touch on that. Stormy did say, why can't Kayla just be herself? And Kayla can be herself. Kayla, she can be herself, but you have to be aware and mindful of the things that you do, the things that you say to people, the things that you put online, whether it's under your comments or other people's comments. You have to be aware. Like, you can't just walk around with zero awareness. And that is how Kayla is. She act like the dummy. Like, she act like she just ditzy all the time. And that's not cute. You keep saying, I'm a boss. And you know how she just, I'm a boss, I'm 35. Act like it. Grow up. I'm sorry, y'all. It just annoys me to no end. Like, just the awareness side of it. That's all. Anyway, this is your girl Q1 reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.